Make time for Haste, a game of Dum-Dums and Dragons. Haste is a quick-play, cooperative role-playing game. The adventure runner for this campaign is the adventurous Marcus Lake.
Let's get going. Let's hurry. Haste.
Last time, our party of dragon repo specialists were contracted to repossess a dragon from Count Singuinous, the undead. Traveling to his planet in living pink orbs proved to be easy for NameLess the Mage.
I'm gonna burst open. I'm gonna try like.
You puncture the orb. It's easy.
Oh, poof.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna do my leaf thing.
In fact, it's so fragile. You're concerned that you ever made it this far in the first place. Accidentally.
What the hell are we doing out there?
Not so for the other members of the party.
You see the other three orbs descend at an amazing speed
Okay.
beyond you, probably to their doom. But
Well, that's kind of their deal.
And yet confidence still remained high.
I think everything's going to be fine. I imagined that if our plan was that we were going to plummet through the atmosphere, like if we needed to have something to like help with the landing or whatever, we would have brought that with us. So I'm just going to like
We wouldn't shoot ourselves into space just to
die.
Yeah.
And now on to our adventure.
so you see the first orb just disappear through the pink beneath you, floop, and then the second orb with two people in it
Right.
disappears through the pink firmament below, floop,
Oh, I should have done something.
and you are drifting happily. In fact, it's twilight. It's a little spooky, but there's a magical Candyland feel to the
Cool.
cotton candy forest as you approach.
Let me see.
I'm gonna try to direct myself with my leaf. Can I communicate with my leaf?
Oh,
So
certainly.
it's a familiar, right?
Yeah.
Leaf, to the falling orbs.
Indeed, friend. And so you take sort of kind of a hang glider.
Yes. We should
approach.
find a name for you, Leaf.
Wait, is there
Leif.
another statistic
Erickson.
that we should address
Leif
at this
is a
point?
leaf.
Anything you'd like to suggest? or-
No, I think we're going pretty well. I did write down a blind spot that will come up later, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's do blind
Which will be our
spots.
-2
Yeah.
statistic.
I
Thank
also have in mind what I will be, but am willing to keep, hang on to that until...
Well, you disappear, you strike the ground, and your orb seems to pass right through it. You can't see anything. Everything now is just pink all around you. You're blind. So let's determine what your blind spot is. So what did you...
Seeing that there is some sort of warm-colored hue to our surroundings, I immediately have become convinced that we are in hell. We've landed in hell. This is hell. Honey, we're in hell. I don't know what to do.
At least we're here
because,
together.
I am dogmatic, which gives me a -2 to my wits.
So we're in pink fluffy hell. I could see that.
Well, look, it's just a very light shade of red, which to me means hell. So...
Sure.
Sure.
We can roll for blind spots as well, or should we choose them?
you can roll for a... I think you should just choose.
You
I think we
can
just
choose to choose, or...
Yeah, so there's a chart. I love a chart. And it gives some sort of base examples. But basically you choose usually that stat first, and then the adjective that makes that stat applicable.
Yeah. So since I'm dogmatic when it comes to... That's the flavor of my lack of wits. It's because I'm very set in my ways. I don't look for new information. I'm dogmatic.
Oh, right. This is the chart with the 3 columns.
Yeah, it's the 4 column for each
what would you
one.
like to choose? Oh,
Yeah,
4
so
columns, I'm sorry.
we are so well suited to one another, darling. I am oblivious.
Dogmatic and oblivious.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
I
great
also
combo.
take a penalty to wits.
Nice.
So I feel like you would just leave the pod.
Yeah, and so
not quite paying attention to what I'm saying.
I think that probably, honey, it's going to be fine, and I'm going to rip our pot open.
Okay.
Okay.
So for my blind spot, and in the spirit of being clueless, I have a +2 total on my agility because of my natural Rascal ability and my secondary ability. So I'm going to take a -2 in agility, so I am just a 0. And my blind spot is I am unbalanced.
Oh.
Nice.
Like inebriated, or
I'm like
is there an inner ear
like the
issue,
original
or-
like Orville Wilbur plane. Like the only reason why you can stay balanced through the turbulent environment is because it was built so unbalanced.
Right.
It was built unbalanced so it can balance itself out. So I'm a 0, but that's because I'm so messed up.
You're just constantly pedaling.
Right. I'm just
I
exactly.
see you moving like Drunken Master. You're just sort of like
Oh, yeah.
shambling through life, and
Sure. I'm gonna
but you're always upright. You know.
It's sort
Also
of a-
forgets everything. I'm drunken on here. Okay, ClueLess has got a little flask, but he is not. There's not potions. He's not a wizard.
So, well, as you drift down, more rapidly now, but
Inebriated.
Inebriated.
Yeah.
more of
It's
your
blind
memory
spot.
Yes.
returns to you. You recall that it was your idea to use the full potions.
Oh.
Due to the lack of wits in your party in general.
Okay,
probably wise to have protected them by making them not remember anything.
Dum-Dums.
But let's discuss your blind spot as you
My-
descend to the cotton candy
Well,
surface.
I'm either, by my action so far, obtuse or careless. But those are both wits. So, probably...
Well, you could be like distant and do charm. Like
Oh.
you don't really
Reserved.
You don't care much for the feelings
Well,
and
that's
thoughts.
there.
Of
I'm
That
irritable.
seems to fit.
Irritable. Yeah.
I'm irritable.
When you would turn Eld, it's gonna happen.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So I am quite irritable, which
Like you knew that you were
minus 2
supposed to
on
crash land next to us, but you're like,
you actually
my
only took a
knees ain't
-1.
taking that
Okay.
nonsense, and so you float down and make us wait for a while.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
You
now I know I was
idiots.
doing that, but it was just instinct making you wait for the Eld.
So
Alright.
are we all on the surface now?
Oh, no, pardon me.
Okay.
So you have torn open the
I have.
orb, and actually, just as you've done that, you realize that within this cotton candy mass, there are also limbs of some kind. There's kind of
Like human limbs? Or
Oh God!
like
We're in hell. I told you.
We are in pink fluffy hell.
Get ready to fight a demon, honey. Got a dirty
indigo
white teeth.
blue candy-like tree limbs,
Okay.
one of which snags the orb that you have opened.
Yeah.
It's such that you find yourself suddenly yanked and dangling from one of these limbs by the remaining membrane of the orb.
Do I need to roll to catch the arm of my spouse?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will determine, I guess, if that's brawn or agility. I want to make a case for brawn because I'm just so broad.
Well,
I
you-
just have such a surface area.
And you're
with which-
accustomed to that, and
Yeah.
you've made up for any lack of speed with your strength.
I rolled double ones.
Okay.
And so that's a 3 with doubles.
Okay. Well, you have failed, but because we've rolled doubles, he has an opportunity to grab onto your ankles at the last moment. So let's give him an agility roll.
Agility. Okay. Well, thankfully, since I was raised on the island, I get another
Backgrounds.
little bit to my agility, so I get a total of a +2.
Thank you.
I learned to run and climb and sail and all that fun stuff I do on the island of investments. I don't know.
Everyone wants to retire there. That's
That's-
why they
yeah.
invest.
A 10 total.
All right. So you have snagged her ankles,
All right.
right? And okay. So while we're doing background slang, would you, Dirk, like to address your background as your memory slowly comes back to you?
I was raised on the battlefield.
Raised on the battlefield.
Yeah. In a long tradition of weightlifting and
My father was a weightlifter.
Right.
My grandmother was a weightlifter.
Yeah, right. My grandmother was the best of the family.
Delivery, 35
my
seconds.
grandmother raised
Boom.
us figuratively and literally up over her head.
And so yes, you have your grandmother's weightlifting knee braces,
Yeah.
and he has
Vintage knee
snagged
brace.
onto those
Perfect.
with his thumbs, and you now both dangle from one of these blue candy-like limbs.
I'm gonna
surrounded by pink. You can't really
pull us
see
up
more
onto
than a
there.
foot, as if being in a snowdrift of. So you try to pull yourself up, but you've already entered quite deeply into the cotton candy. And of course, you're being, there's gravity pulling you down, so
Of course.
most forces are still. But meanwhile, you drift. Well, quickly you descend to the surface. Do you want to go? I mean, it looks soft. So
Sure.
how do you want to make this approach? Do you want to?
Well, I want to land in a way that I am on top of the fluff.
Okay. So you come down and spiral a little bit, and a light onto the floor, and it sinks beneath you, but the fibers are such that you find if you walk a little carefully, you've seen him step in enough bizarre things and maintain himself.
Sure.
So you're standing on the surface of this pink fluff here.
All right. Do I see them?
You can hear a kerfuffle
Yeah.
Okay.
happening below.
Do I remember Cranston?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
Cranston?
You're lucky charmed down here.
Yeah. Hey, Cranston! You,
So you
lucky
hear-
SOB.
You
What
hear
are
the
you
voice of
doing?
above.
Nameless. I'm holding on to Dirk, and we're dangling from a hell tree.
Let go. Leave Yoko behind. Let's get back to this. All right.
Same old Nameless.
All right. Well, I gotta fix this, don't I? All right. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna make you fall up for a little bit. So I'm gonna use a spell and make them fall up.
Okay.
Yeah. For a little bit, and then they can land on the fluff.
So this is an advanced spell. This is going to be an expenditure of one of your pages.
Okay.
From your, what, 17 till or something crazy?
I'm wasting a page on you again.
Okay, so you reach
I'm
out
not cheap.
with your immeasurable power. You grasp the very laws of physics and turn them upside down. Suddenly, your membrane comes unsnagged and you find yourself falling upwards.
Swimming upwards.
Swimming, yes.
Parting
the...
Yeah.
I feel like
It's possible that I believe I'm responsible for this. I'm not an observant.
When did I develop this ability?
I think I was probably lifting myself up and began to float and believe that this is
And
my own.
in no time at all, you gracefully, easily emerge from the surface of the pink mass to
Honey,
find...
did you see that?
I'm still holding onto your legs. Like you started falling, and I just went, "What?"
You find up here the irritable magic person, and...
You're welcome.
Okay. Again, the sky here is kind of a bizarre purple-gray twilight. There is no sun visible. You see that you're on a crest of a large hill over which this cotton candy forest seems to have been growing. Meanwhile, down below, you slip straight through all of the cotton candy trees, down to the surface of the hill beneath it. You bounce back up into the cotton candy trees, back down again, bounce a few times, and your orb comes to rest amidst a mass of what seems to pass for wildflowers here. And then suddenly, without any action on your part, the membrane parts, and the kind of snot-like liquid pours out around your feet. I imagine you might want to cough it out of your lungs.
It's up to you.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try to take a gulp of it. See how it tastes.
You've been there. It's it tastes neutral, really.
All right. Well, I have a wide selection of way too many alcoholic beverages on me. Previously, when I said that I was confident in my group, but for no apparent reason, I was drunk. So I immediately, after taking a swig of the amniotic fluid, I decided that I did not enjoy the flavor, and then I'm going to take a quick shot.
Burn it out.
Burn it out, right.
All right, well...
And I'm used to this. This is standard operating procedure for
Sure.
me.
You think?
Yeah, I think. I guess it just came as instinct to me. As instinctively as the secret handshake. It's also grab vial, drink, shot.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Would you say
nice.
that that's something you learned in your background?
Oh yeah. In my background, I don't really like to admit this, but I'm actually very high noble born. I'm not officially like monarchy material, but I'm up there, and I ruined that. I drank that all the way, and I moved. And I don't exactly remember which palace that I have a drawn to, but I'm a little bit sharper than your average drunkard. Like I have a little bit of a wit above.
Hey, what did you just drink?
I think it was kind of like a hard like whatever the Dum-Dums equivalent of like a whiskey.
Right.
Fire whiskey.
Well, it seems to have a side effect because now your hair is magically dry.
Oh, neat.
It's because I reused Nameless's vials to put my alcohol in, so I'm not 100% sure when I drank the alcohol that I was maybe a little tipsy and I didn't wash out the vial entirely.
Worst hire ever.
So speaking of Nameless, you can hear his voice distantly. And muttering something about spending a page up above.
Oh, and less is like a kind of maybe like an official title that I didn't officially earn. I just decided to start calling myself ClueLess. So I would imagine.
So you dropped the clue.
So I would imagine that.
I guess you would.
Nameless
keep
would
following
probably.
my lead. Yeah.
Nameless would probably aggressively refer to me as Clue instead of Clueless as an insult.
Clue follows. Okay.
If we stop in the next 5 seconds, we will be 100% on our time schedule.
Let's do that.
Okay. Yes.
Next time on Haste, a game of Dum-Dums and Dragons.
I'm stupid. I'm gonna just talk to him. I'm just gonna be like, hey, what's up, buddy? I'm supposed to be here to fill out the bride's side of the room.
I can hear him.
Ooh!
Yeah, I think we can all hear him.
I brought some buddies with me.
There's a thump, thump, thump as he approaches you.
It's the last time we hire an improviser.
I am your host, MC and editor of Haste the Game Show, Tristian Spillman. And my wife helped too a little bit. Thanks honey. Thanks, Katrina.